So we have seen the first game of the season. Liverpool, the champions, they scored 4 goals and conceded 2. But the good news is they got 3 points in the first game, okay? And the game was end to end. It was well entertaining. Now, haven't watched this, we are going to move to the next game, which is Aston Villa Newcastle, and this game is early kickoff. Now, between Aston Villa and Newcastle, they have played a total of 61 games, with Newcastle United winning 28 of these 61 games. Aston Villa have won 14 of them and 19 draws between them. Also, looking at head-to-head between these two clubs, the last 5 times, we look at the last 5 games they played. Last season, Aston Villa won at home 4-1, and Newcastle United won Aston Villa 3-1 at home. Season before, Aston Villa lose 1-3 to Newcastle United, and Newcastle United beat Aston Villa back at St. James's Park 5-1. So the season before, Newcastle United did the double over Aston Villa. But last season, each of them won at home, so it was one win at peace. Then the other game that made their last 5 games on head-to-head ended 3-3, which was a friendly game. Now, we are going to look at each of these teams, their first game of the season for the last 5 seasons. We are going to start with Aston Villa, the first game of the season for the last 5 years. So, Aston Villa, first game of the season for the last 5 years. We start from just the last season and then we flow down to 2020. So, Aston Villa, first game of the season for the last 5 years. Last season, they defeated West Ham 2-1. The other season, they lost to Newcastle 1-5. And then the other one, they beat Everton 2-1. They also lost to Watford 2-3. And in 2020, they defeated Sheffield United 2-1. So these are Aston Villa's first game of the season for the last 5 years. Now, let's look at Newcastle United, first game of the season for the last 5 seasons. Newcastle United last season, they defeated Southampton 1-0. The season before, they defeated Aston Villa 5-1. Before then, they defeated Nottingham Forest 2-0. And also in 2021, they were beaten at home 2-4 by West Ham United. Then in 2020, the same West Ham United lost at home 0-2 to Newcastle United. So you have seen how Newcastle United and Aston Villa have performed in the first game of the season for the last 5 years. And also we have seen the head-to-head between Newcastle United and Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa will be home to Newcastle United. What are your expectations? Will it be like last season when Aston Villa defeated Newcastle United at home? Or will Newcastle United go to Villa Park and defeat Aston Villa? Of course, when it comes to these two clubs, anything is possible, okay? They know how to beat themselves. Anywhere the win can come. Anyone can go to anybody's house and win. Anyone can decide not to lose at home. But looking at head-to-head between these two clubs, Newcastle United have more advantage over Aston Villa. And also looking at how they ended the previous season, Newcastle United finished above Aston Villa. So for me, I think this game is going to be end-to-end. This game is going to be very, very competitive. I'm sure that both of them are going to come out. Probably a team that will be more clinical will end up winning the game. Early kickoff, it's Aston Villa, Newcastle United. And like I said in the beginning of this season, when we look at head-to-head, they have played 61 games between them. Newcastle United have 28 wins. Aston Villa had 14 wins and 18 draws between them. So in these fixtures, anything is possible. We may see a draw, We may see a home win, or we may also see an away win. But the way Liverpool have kickstarted this season, Liverpool now are sitting on top with 3 points plus 2 goals. And I'm sure both of these two clubs will not want a draw, and none of them will want to lose the game. So for me, I would be expecting Aston Villa to win this game, because for Aston Villa, they are not going to be playing in the UEFA Champions League. In fact, they are not going to be playing in Europe this season. So all their full strength and concentration could be in the Premier League. And also for Newcastle United, with the problem they're having with Alexander Isak, which means Isak, their top striker, may not be playing. So I think that Aston Villa may have a little bit advantage over Newcastle United. But this is my thought anyway. I just believe that Aston Villa may edge Newcastle on this one. So if you agree or you disagree with me, that will be your own opinion. Meanwhile, it will be good that you drop your comments, you drop your prediction, and also don't forget to engage in this video. Thank you, and see you in the next video.